Hey, what's good, chat? What up? Welcome to the deeper level. About to get on these games. I'm gonna respond to some. Hey, babe, what's good? Have you made it to the house yet? Or are you still en route? Hey, son, OG, what up, man? We tap in and respond to some of this stuff right quick. All right. So, uh, as you can tell, everything looks different in the background because Wayfinder just dropped a new update. Okay, cool. You're almost home en route. Okay, cool deal. Drive safe, babe. Everything is already laid out for you when you get here. Yeah, but it's been a phenomenal day in the community chat. A phenomenal day in the community for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, or a phenomenal last 2 days. I woke up yesterday and probably about seven individuals from the development team had followed my page. And then on today, another five developers from Rocksteady, and then also the um, creative director as well as actor of the new game Tales of Zhao. So it's just, hey, yeah, son, man, it's just really humbling, man. I'm just really grateful, to God to just kind of be, well, not kinda, but to be building a national brand with gaming, and all in due time. All in due time. So not rushing anything. It'll come. So I started creating some more content on my YouTube and posting that stuff. In fact, I was up last night editing videos and stuff like that we put out. So, you know, just trying to create a buzz and do what we do. Um, hey, appreciate it. Yes, sir. But I'm telling you though, and Eb, my wife knows this, that I think we want to make an annual trip out of the Game Awards. My only thing is I wish they let you get tickets like right off the rip. They've already announced the date for next year, but they hadn't put the tickets on sale because they wait till like a month or 3 weeks before the event and then sell tickets. Why it's like that, I don't know. Especially if you already got the venue secured. I don't see what the big deal is as to why you have to wait so long, but I mean, nevertheless. So this game has gotten a major update, and I do mean a major update. And I'm here for it. Yeah, it's odd, man. I don't know why they do it like that. Cause my thing, like I say, you got the venue, you got your date set. Go ahead and sell the tickets so that people can prepare. Cause see, my thing is that I don't want to buy like airline tickets and hotel rooms, not knowing if I've got a ticket to the actual venue or the show. If I got a ticket to the venue and the show, then boom, I'll go ahead and book airline tickets and all of that good stuff. But that's something you kind of want to know going into it, before you spend money on airline tickets and stuff like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love LA, but you know, I ain't trying to go out there just to be going out there. I got to have a purpose for going. No, they did not take our phones. That's something I was concerned about, son, is whether they were going to, prevent any type of media or recording, but no, man, we got to have our phones. We could take pictures, and we could actually record segments um, of the awards. Hey, what up, Nava? It's good, buddy. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna use this time of just streaming to talk about a couple things that happened online today. I didn't really want to make a video covering the situation with Naughty Dog. In fact, I sat next to uh, one of the developers from Naughty Dog, and of course, these are the makers and developers of the video game Last of Us. Well, for quite some time, hey, Digital, what's up, man? What's good, brother? Hey, I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna be able to comment or a video around your comment today, so I really appreciate that, bro. Really appreciate that. Um, hey, Pallet, what's good? What's good? Hey, you could have texted me, man. You could have texted me, bro. I promise you. It would have been all good. But yeah, I was sitting right next to a developer from Naughty Dog. And as many of you know, today the story released about the Naughty Dog studio that the Last of Us Online or Last of Us factions that they were working on is no more. They've closed the project down. Now, I'm going to say that that does not surprise me, seeing as though a live service game, the type of press that it gets. I mean, some people just do not like live service games. Me personally, I'm here for it. I love them. I'm playing a live service game now. So I definitely did look forward to what Naughty Dog would potentially have done. Now, of course, PlayStation had already released information that they were pulling the plug on a lot of their live service games, even though initially they had said it was their vision to build a live service repertoire, of games with companies and to do more live service games. But everybody can't do a live service game, so I get it. But let's just dissect this for a second and talk about this. And if y'all want to chime in as I'm playing, I'll definitely be reading your comments and responding to them. So, me personally, I think that it would have went over well, just in theory. But let's look at the work. Hey, right on, Nava. I feel you. Let's look at the work that goes into a live service game. Okay, you're talking about having to support something and develop something for generally what's envisioned as years to come. Again, I was a huge fan and a career player. Y'all have heard me say this on the channel many, many times, of Final Fantasy XI. What I like about Square Enix, the reason why they are one of the greatest dev teams and publishers of all time, is because they've got, their online projects, their live service games like Final Fantasy 11 and then Final Fantasy 14. But then they also got their single player story mode games, just like Final Fantasy 16 that just released, as well as DLC, which I still need to dive into the DLC for that. So I'll definitely be doing that as soon as possible. I'm just having such a blast with this game that yeah, I danced with him for too long. That's the only thing I don't like about this particular Wayfinder that I'm playing with, Wingrave, is because he's not really DD. He's tank, but all of my other jobs is DD, and I'm used to getting stuff out of there really fast. But anyway, so The Last of Us has closed down productions for The Last of Us Online. All right. So with that being said, it takes a considerable amount of commitment to commit to a live service game, to know that you're going to be developing something and continually tweaking something for, the next 5 to 10 years. Everybody cannot pull that off. Now, personally, I think it's not so much that Naughty Dog couldn't pull it off. I just think that they're afraid of the reception that live service games have gotten lately. Because as soon as a game says live service, I mean, people automatically, speculate and assume the worst. But me personally, when I hear live service, I'm getting excited. So, one of the key elements to any live service game is how you're going to monetize it. Because if you're going to be developing something and committing to patching stuff, implementing new, chapters, new DLC, however you want to call it, quality of life features, whether it be adding in mounts, traversal, whatever the case is, it takes money to do that. Don't get me wrong, the person who's financing these games, the publisher or whatever the case is, yeah, they care about only one thing, and that's money. All right. Now the developers care about having a good experience for players. They want you to actually enjoy the game. But the people who publish the game or pay for the game to be made, at the end of the day, their only question is, did we make any money? I remember an episode of SpongeBob where they had all went to save Sandy. Sandy had gotten some kind of trouble or something. Something had happened. And, they went to save Sandy, and they ended up not saving Sandy. And some of y'all may remember this episode. Matter of fact, shout out to SpongeBob, man. It's one of the goated cartoons of this generation. Me growing up, we had Looney Tunes and all of that stuff, but SpongeBob is actually pretty good. I mean, it's pretty darn good. But anyway, so on this episode, they went to save Sandy. All right, but they didn't end up saving Sandy. And once they realized that they didn't save her, everybody who went to save them, of course, you had Patrick, you had SpongeBob, you had Gary the Snail, you had Mr. Krabs, and I think it was one more person. But anyway, once they realized that they didn't save Sandy, they all kind of did a round table discussion, and SpongeBob was like, well, did we save Sandy? And Gary said nope. And then Patrick said, well, did we get anything to eat? And Gary said no. And then they got to Mr. Krabs, and you know what he said? Did we make any money? Boy, that doggone Mr. Krabs, man, I'm telling you, that's all he care about is, did we make any money? And I said that to say this. The developers, okay, yeah, y'all having fun playing the game, woo, 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 da, da, da. All the game has got perfect ratings. IGN gave the game a 10, and we're having a great time in the community. Brother, the developers, they don't care nothing about none of that. All they want to know is, hey, baby, did we make any money? If we didn't make no money, I don't care how much fun y'all had. So at the end of the day, it's all about how you're going to monetize these games. So if you're going to do a live service game, your plan to monetize it is just, hey, you remember it, Nava? Yeah. So your plan to monetize it is just as important as your vision on how the game is developed. Because if it doesn't stay profitable, production can't continue, or development can't continue, whatever you call it. So the perfect model, in my opinion, but everybody ain't gonna agree with this, is I believe that the correct way to monetize a live service game, all right, is to have a monthly subscription fee. Now, I know some folks might rebuttal that and say, well, no, because that begins to be too expensive. But again, I played Final Fantasy XI religiously for 16 years straight, and to this day, that the game is still going. Because every time they dropped a DLC, every time they added a boss fight, you didn't have to pay for that. All right, the money that you paid monthly for your subscription fee is what supported the game. Now, keep in mind, at one time, Final Fantasy 11 had 7 million players. Okay, uh, that's right. That's right, Nava. That's the one. Um, so Final Fantasy 11 had 7 million players. All right, and keep in mind the monthly subscription fee back then in 2002 was like $7.99 a month. I think $7.99. Well, at the end of playing the game, it had got all the way up to like $11.99 a month. But anyway, I had no problem playing it or paying the money, and the reason being is because they were continually implementing new stuff. There was updates for the game, new DLC, new boss fights, new weapons added, new quality of life features, hangout spots, housing, hubs, mounts, all of those different things that they kept adding. They were always doing something. All right. So, yeah, you may say it's a costly thing to spend 70 bucks, let's say, a year on a game by paying a monthly subscription fee of, $6 or whatever. But now in the economy we live in, so let's just say 14.99, which is practically the cost of any other type of digital service, Netflix, whatever the case may be. All right, so yeah, okay, 14.99. That may be an expensive number to some people, but you can't have both. All right. What scares me about a live service game, and I'll admit this kind of scares me about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, is that they're doing free DLC. And if a game is planning on lasting any length of time, it's got to have a proper way to monetize that said game. So if you're doing free DLC, how are they going to make the money to support this game lasting for several years to come? All right. So then they threw the idea out there of, you know, kind of like a battle pass. Well, people didn't like that. Okay, but take your pick. If you don't want to pay for a battle pass, which it's strictly optional, if you don't like microtransactions, how do you think this game, as a live service game, is going to receive the support that it needs to last for several years to come? It can't, because at the end of the day, it's all about money. Yes, they want us to have fun. Yes, they want us to have a good time. The development team. But the people who's putting up the money and footing the bill at the end of the day and paying all the salaries, they got to get paid. So there has to be a plan in order for them to do that. So, with that being said, Naughty Dog is no longer doing the factions game. All right, it's just trying to make sure I was headed the right way. So anyway, there's that. But I know a lot of folks don't like live service games, and again, I understand every game cannot be live service. But what have we said time and time again? Single player story mode games are great. But single player story mode games only last about 15 to 30 play hours. So while they're great and wonderful, they don't really have a whole lot of replay value. So there's pros and cons to both routes. Now, me personally, I don't really knock what a person's preference is on the type of game they play, because I see it from both sides. Me personally, I like both. I like to be able to have that live service game that I can always go back to, while in between times when things are slow, or maybe when they need to add new content or whatever the case is, I can dip out and play this single player story mode game, beat it in 15 to 30 play hours, and then go back to what my live service game is. Personally, I like that option. So that's why I don't knock either one, because I think it takes both to create the right ecosystem for gaming. So I hate that, you know, that the Last of Us faction shut down production today. I really do hate that, because I know everybody who was working on that, the people from that particular team, put a lot of work in. Even though it didn't happen, it still took a lot of work. Man, and people straight going in on them too, chat. Hobgoblin. Shrooms seem to be a different color. See, so many updates happen with this game. They said it was over 2,000 changes with this new update. Now, the Eventide event doesn't actually start until tomorrow, but they did an early release yesterday of the game on Steam, and then today on PS5, just to kind of test bugs and report them. And I think during my time of playing, I only ran into one bug that I can think of. Yeah, buddy. Stagger, stagger. Hold up. I know he didn't just heal. Hey, bro, appreciate it, man. Like, real talk. Yeah, I saw that message just as I was getting ready to log in and start playing, man. You know, just trying to maximize the moment, man. Seize the moment. And again, you know, when stuff like that happens, I can't help but feel some sense of responsibility from a community standpoint to take moments like that and make the most of them. So with that, that kind of gave me a spark for more content creation, even on YouTube. As you noticed, I've dropped quite a few videos over the last couple days, and still have several ideas. Um, you know, because sometimes we just need that momentum push, and when that momentum push happens, we got to know how to keep the momentum going and just grind it out. Because it's work, you know, especially when you don't do this full time. Pick up partner from school, but yes, super happy and great. Take idea for Suicide Squad. Very cool. Someone has got to talk about toy maker as well. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yeah, when you said that on the post digital, it made me really think. Because that would definitely be the way to do it. All right, here we go. Man, I know, right? Facts. Man, it can't get here soon enough. And honestly, I like to say January because it sounds better. Because it'll technically drop January 30th with the 72-hour early access. Trust me though, I got some ideas lined up for the community though, man. So I'm telling you. Drops the day before your birthday. Word. All right, hang on, chat. While I do this, let me go run downstairs and grab a drink, and then change out the battery in my headset. 1 second. Be right back, chat. Keep it locked. All right, chat, I'm back. All right, get up out of here. See, did I level? Yep, level 19. That's ready to temper. Hey, my birthday is in February too, Nava. I don't know if I ever told you that or not. Yep, 24th. 24th. Can't wait. I know you got something up your sleeve. I always have a dope birthday, like always. I can't think of a time that I ever had a mediocre birthday. Bet February 3rd. Man, that's what's up, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, every day is supposed to be special, but birthday is supposed to be super special. Man, Chad, is it just me or is time like flying by? I noticed too that they kind of nerfed the build just a little bit. After the update, my critical power rating has gone down. It was at like 8,000 and like 8,200 or something, and now it's at like 6,792. However, they did add some other mechanics in that I can go and tweak. But when it's all said and done, it's still gonna be a nerf though. But I ain't complaining because honestly, it was too powerful. It was way too powerful. They had to nerf it. Anytime you can go into a boss fight and literally hit him like 5 times and he dropped. Yeah, that's a problem. Let's go to work then, baby. Let's go to work. Oh, I know what I don't got equipped. Items. Consumables. That's what I'm talking about. Da, 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 da. So I'm looking for the pit on this stage. Okay, that's the direction that I came from. So hopefully it's around here somewhere. That's one of the places that the wolves spawn in. But again, you can't target farm the wolf echoes after the update. And so they nerfed the drop rate for that too. Oh, snap. Yeah, I knew they was gonna get me on that one. Hey, the bearded one, man. What's good? How you feeling tonight, bro? Man, you know, I dropped a video today. I don't know if you caught it yet. If not, head and check that out. We've actually been opening a conversation of playing with Wonder Woman, because I do believe we'll play with her as far as fight alongside her. I think that, you know, she's definitely going to be an assist character to help in these fights against the Justice League. I mean, because don't get me wrong, the Justice League are not what I like to call A-tier villains. They're more like B-tier. Don't get me wrong, they got their moments where, you know, they can be a force to be reckoned with, especially King Shark. But for the most part, they're B-list villains. Now, Brainiac is an A-list villain, so consider the fact of being under the influence of an A-list villain while also being an A-list hero. That's what the Justice League is. So, from a storyline standpoint, it would make sense to have the help of Wonder Woman in order to take down the Justice League, because she's the only one from the Justice League that hadn't turned. Now, as far as her being a playable character, I don't think they would do that personally, when there's so many more villains that they could give us the opportunity to play as. Because I really feel like their whole angle for making this game is to give an opportunity to let us play with some of the characters that don't really get the spotlight, like, you know, the Justice League characters do. So now, don't get me wrong, it would be super dope to have a stage where she's playable, to do one of the boss fights or something, but you know, not to say they won't do it, I just don't see them doing it. Now, I do think that there will be a Wonder Woman boss battle. I can see that happening, as we were discussing in that video I'm talking about. People were saying it could be a spot in the story where the plot changes and she does come up under Brainiac's control. Like maybe in the fight against Batman, Batman is smart enough under Brainiac's influence, because we know he's the great detective. So maybe there's a portion to where she's not under Brainiac's control, but Batman figures out a way in being under Brainiac's control to get her under control as well. So maybe she assists you up to a point, and then she gets turned as well, and you have to fight her. So I think that could potentially be a boss battle that would be coming. You see it coming, but you don't really see it coming. That twisting and pivotal point, turning point in the storyline, to where you just start to build this alliance with her and say, okay, yeah, she's gonna forever be on my team to assist and do what I need, and then all of a sudden, well, we just lost that alliance. Yo, Digital, man, can you hey, bro, you said something right there. Can you imagine what a Clayface, a playable Clayface would be like? A playable Killer Croc. You know, because we already know that Deathstroke is coming. I mean, that was inevitable. I think Poison Ivy would be cool too, because keep in mind, there's got to be diversity. For every male character that they add, or every 2 male characters, they're gonna have to add a female character. You're just gonna have to do it. So we could potentially get you know, Poison Ivy as well. Ooh, that bird trap almost got me. I agree. I agree. The bearded one, there definitely should have been more melee. Now, personally, melee feels the best. Well, I ain't gonna say that, boy. I almost messed up. Because you got to keep in mind that I played the alpha test. So, yeah. But I think that there should have been more melee. I'll say that. Yeah, that's true. Bearded one. That's true. Or, here's the thing, he doesn't have to have guns. Let him shoot clay projectiles from his arms. And I know it's kind of corny, but, you know, that would separate, you know, because he's got full control over his body and can command pieces of himself at any given time. So give him like these clay shooters, if that makes sense. Man, chat, by the time I realized what he was doing, I was dead. Funny thing is, these Pringles so good, chat. I'm dying on purpose, to tell you the truth, so I can take a chip break. Because you can't pause a live service game. Just got to get to the right stopping point. Yeah, and that's the thing, man. We have to stay optimistic about what they're building and trying to build. But I will tell you that I saw enough in the alpha that I get it. I get their vision. I get what they're trying to do, and I get the potential of what this can become. If it's monetarily beneficial. So, true enough, my biggest concern of the game is how they monetize it to give it the longevity. And we was talking about that earlier on my, stream. I don't like the idea of free DLC. And they've already committed to free DLC. I don't like that business model because then that worries me to think of how are they going to monetize the game so that it stays profitable, because people already said they didn't like the idea of a battle pass. So the only option you got is microtransactions. And is that really going to be enough to keep the game afloat? Personally, I would not have done free DLC. I would have either did monthly subscription or charge for DLC. That would have been the best way to monetize this game. Now, maybe there's something that I'm not taking into consideration that they've already thought of. I mean, these guys are a lot smarter than I could ever be. But I just hope so. Because generally, to me, free DLC is not a good business model to continue to support a game post launch. It's just not. Rarely does a game work that uses that business model. So that's really my only fear. Hey, digital, it's already set up, man. It's already set up, bro. Hey, January January gonna be crazy, man. That's all I'm gonna say. January gonna be crazy. I can't say much more than that, but get ready. The deeper level podcasts in January are gonna be crazy. Also, don't forget, y'all, this coming Sunday, the one and only Kyle Wyatt will be live right here on the deeper level at 4 p.m. Central Time. So make sure you tune in for that podcast. And if you don't know who Kyle Wyatt is, Google him. He's been involved with more than 30 projects with Ed Boon and NetherRealm. He's responsible for the iconic Mortal Kombat cry. In 1992, he was the original voice actor for that, and it's been used in all movies, all games worldwide. And if you don't know what the Mortal Kombat cry is, that's the Mortal Kombat. You know, he was the first person to, brand that statement, and it's been legendary. Probably one of the most iconic jingles in gaming. And Batista tried to do it in the Mortal Kombat 1 commercial earlier this year, but he just couldn't get it like Kyle Wyatt. MK1 servers are down? Oh my goodness. I didn't know that. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I hadn't played Mortal Kombat 1 in a while. Matter of fact, I hadn't played since they dropped the Omni-Man DLC. And I think they're on Quan Chi now, so, you know, it's been a minute since I played it. Yeah, but I promise you, the podcast that we got lined up in regards to Suicide Squad for January, yeah, it's gonna be dope. Man, look what I'm hitting for though, chat. And I'm telling you, this build got nerfed. Yes, Suicide Squad literally has a lot of potential. If they can capitalize on it and continue to bring, quality of life changes, new features, new boss fights and villains, um, and then seeing the mechanics of the boss fights are going to be real critical to see, just what they dreamed up in a boss fight, the different mechanics, because we ain't about to go in there and just, you know, uh, beat them to death with just physical damage. Because we know Superman is weak to kryptonite, but he's also weak to magic. So, I mean, there's a lot of different elements that you could really get involved with these boss fights. Okay, that's a bug. Randomly, and this rarely happens, but you'll get to the place. It's a good place for a chip break. Some spots you'll get in on the game where you can't move or you're stuck. So what you have to do is teleport back to the nearest spot. Something I thought they would have fixed with this update. So that's two bugs that I've encountered. Yeah, that's true. As far as Avengers, it was a perfect concept. Um, okay, so here's the thing with that. Number one, it wouldn't be based around the Avengers, I don't think. Now, of course, there's a lot of rumors and speculations going on about the leak and stuff like that that happened at Insomniac, or the data breach rather, um, which when they initially announced that they were working on a multiplayer AAA title game, I immediately said that it was a Marvel project because I initially thought it would make sense to do something with the Spider family. I've been saying this. I probably said this 2 years ago, or whenever that was that they announced that they were working on a AAA title a year ago. That's what I said. Because look at how the trend has been. They introduced Peter in 2018. Miles got his own game. This game, Spider-Man 2, you could play with Miles and Peter. I felt like at some point in time, Gwen Stacy would get introduced, or whatnot, and then they would do a multiplayer game that would include all of them. The entire Spider family. All right, so they announced that they're doing this AAA title, and then they immediately said afterwards, or a few months after the fact, that the multiplayer title they're doing is not Marvel related. Okay, so then I kind of got that out of my mind until people started talking about the potential leaks. Now, one of the potential leaks, and again, take this with a grain of salt because we don't really know what's true, but I'm seeing people share stuff online saying that it was leaked that Marvel was working on a multiverse game. All right. So that could have been your multiplayer game right there, your AAA title multiplayer game. Even though they said after the fact that the AAA title game they were working on, or they said this a few months ago, was not related to Marvel. So that could have just been something they were saying to kind of throw people off. Because it was a Spider-Verse game that was going to be multiplayer. Now, I hope, personally, I hope that's the case. So they, if anybody is capable of pulling off a multiplayer game and doing it right, I think it would be Insomniac. So I would like to see what they could do with that type of game. So that's one rumor, leak, or whatever the case you want to call it, that I hope really is true. I just hate that if that is the case, that they didn't get to reveal it themselves. Because you know, a lot of work goes into that stuff from a development standpoint, marketing campaigns, and you spend money on strategy and how you're going to announce something to the world, and you want to do it on your own platform because you know Sony likes to make their announcements on their state of plays, which I understand. That's it. Gotta be hopeful for the future. All right, chat. Check this out. Getting ready to record a quick video that I'm going to be uploading on the channel. So listen, if you don't follow me on social media, make sure you hit that follow button, that like, and that subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I go live, and more content becomes available right here on the Deeper Level. Appreciate you for tuning in and hanging out with me tonight. I definitely will be back tomorrow with some more streaming. Hopefully I'm looking to get on just a little bit earlier tomorrow so we can spend some more time and kind of talk about some of these things. But don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube. Check it out. Look forward tomorrow. I'll be dropping another video regarding Suicide Squad. Again, I'm going to try to feed y'all videos every day at least, or every other day. Or every other day at least, or every day is the end goal. But be back on the hype train, chat. So again, this is Deeper Depths signing out on the Deeper Level, and I will see you again on the next video. Peace.